Hey again, it's Christina from Sunshine and Flora. So in this video, I just wanted to share with you guys a few things that I have learned so far starting seeds this year. If you've been watching my videos, you know that there were a few varieties that I was having issues with. And so I just want to share with you guys a couple of things and updates on those, and then a few updates on some of my other seedlings that I've been growing. So a couple of the varieties that I was really having issues with this year, seed starting, which I seem to have issues with every year, were Crespedia or the Sunballs and Asters. I just have never been able to grow them successfully. I always have poor germination, and then it seems with Asters too, sometimes once I actually get them out in the garden, I can't really get them to grow very well. I have read that they don't like wet feet, so perhaps I am watering them too much, so I will really have to watch that when I get them out there this year. But I had poor germination on both of them. I will put a picture up on the screen of my first Aster's tray. This is at home, and you can see pretty spotty. A couple viewers had commented and said, do not put them on the heat mat. They like to start in a cooler condition. So I had half of my seed packet left, and I ended up restarting them in this little container, and check that out. I bet it's 100% germination. So I put these under my grow lights, but I did not put them on a heat mat. So now moving forward, I know with Asters, do not put them on a heat mat. Simply put them under the grow lights with the rest of your seedlings, and they will have much better germination. So my plan for this is I'm going to let these get just a little bit bigger, so maybe in about 3 or 4 days, because I see some are still peeking through the soil. I'm going to pluck these all out, and I'm going to pot them up in probably a regular 72 cell tray and just let them grow on in there. But I'm really excited about this. Another one that I want to show you that I mentioned was the Crespedia, so let me grab that. Okay, so here is what is from my first round of Crespedia. I have 4. I started, I don't even remember, I think it was a whole 24 cell tray of this, and I have 4. They seem to be growing on just fine. The ones that had actually germinated, I transplanted from the 24 cell tray into here just to save space. Now that they're getting a little better size, well, these two anyway, I'm going to pluck these out and probably transplant them into a regular cell tray just like those Asters. But I had seeds of these left, and so I started these in another container. These are actually at home, so I'll put a picture up on the screen. I did the same thing. I put them under my grow lights, not on a heat mat, except for the Crespedia, I put vermiculite on the top because that is what the back of the seed packet said. Here is what these look like. Oh my gosh, how good do these look? I'm guessing almost 100% germination on these as well. So I definitely learned my lesson this year, so thank you for those that suggested not putting these on heat mats. So Crespedia and Asters, I am going to have a great amount of plants to put out in the garden this year. I'm so excited. So another plant that I want to give you guys an update on is my stock. In one of my previous videos, I showed you the 2 trays of stock that I have at home that I got from Farmer Bailey, and they looked really good, and then all of a sudden a lot of the leaves started yellowing. So I actually contacted Farmer Bailey, and I talked to one of their salespeople, who then forwarded me on to one of their top growers, and he emailed me and said, give them a dose of fertilizer, which I had done, but I had done half strength. He said they needed a full strength fertilizer at this point. So I fertilized them again a week later, full strength, and they have pretty much come out of it. Here's a picture of how they are looking. Definitely less yellow. They've put on some new growth. So I think they're going to be just fine, and I'm going to continue to keep fertilizing these with the full strength fertilizer, and then a lot of my other seedlings I will continue to do the half strength. Now here's the tray of stock that I have started, and these plants are looking really good. This is the variety that had super bad germination. That is the Cott's apricot. I don't know what went on with that. I have a feeling maybe my seed was just a few years old, but everything else looks super good. Now that these plants are getting a little bit bigger, I'm wondering if I should up the fertilizer dosage on these. I don't know. That makes me a little nervous, but we'll see, because they don't show any signs of yellowing at all. So maybe what I'll do with these is just continue doing half strength, and then if I see any forms of yellowing, I'll do full strength the next time. But these are looking really, really good. And I am so excited that those seedlings from Farmer Bailey are rebounding, because that was, it was 125 trays, but there's actually 2 plants per cell. So that was 500 plants. Like, that was a majority of my Hoophouse stock, because there's definitely not as much here. So I'm so glad that those are rebounding. All right, so one of the other plants that I just wanted to share with you was my Honeywart, and I'll also put a picture up on the screen of this. The first half of this tray is the poor man's orchid, which has 100% germination. I'm either gonna have to thin these out or I'm gonna have to transplant these. But the Honeywart, oh my gosh. This is actually the second round of Honeywart I started, because I didn't have very good germination on the first round of Honeywart. I can't remember, I think the first round I soaked the seeds and the second round I didn't soak the seeds. I mean, clearly this second round, I put 3 seeds per cell, just overdoing it. They pretty much all came up. So I definitely need to be thinning this out. So I'm gonna do this either today or tomorrow, and I'll probably do another video on this, because I have a couple other things that I need to thin out or cut down. And so I wanna show you guys how I do that. Pinching my snapdragons, I think, is something else I really need to do. But these Honeywarts, I mean, I just cannot believe the germination. There is 4 in this cell. It is crazy, but this is a beautiful filler. It's got a lot of deep green and kind of purplish flowers. But when something like this happens for you, you can easily take the whole cell out, separate the roots, and then replant them. So you don't have to get rid of all these plants. I just wanted to share that with you guys. You can definitely use all these plants. So instead of a half tray, I'm probably gonna end up with like 2 full trays, which is awesome. So I'll make sure to do a video on that, which is probably gonna be tomorrow when I actually do this whole process. So the last thing I wanted to share with you guys in this video today is a little bit of a Hoophouse update. We're finally getting some warmer temperatures. In fact, tomorrow it's supposed to be 60 degrees. Today it's only supposed to be 30, but tomorrow it's gonna be 60, which is awesome. I have seen lots of robins out, and so our frost is finally coming out of the ground. So a couple days ago, I actually staked out in my parking lot where the Hoophouse is going to be. Now, if you're new to my channel, my building is located downtown, so technically my cut flower garden is an urban garden where I grow everything, and I am doubling my space this year. So I have a whole parking lot out back that is just wide open space. So I am putting a Hoophouse and a number of raised beds out in that area. We're going to be bringing in topsoil and compost, and it's going to be awesome. But here is a picture of what I staked out. Now this is on the south side of a neighboring co-op, and so the sun reflects off this big white building, and this is out in full sun all the time. So this is going to be a perfect area for the raised beds and the Hoophouse. You can see the Hoophouse is marked with the 4 stakes, the orange flagging tape, and then I did use some white spray paint to make the rectangle. The Hoophouse itself is from Grower Solution. I will link them down below. I actually have a coupon code where you can get 10% off anything you order from their website, including a Hoophouse. And I am just so excited to put this up. The one that I am doing is the low sidewall greenhouse. It won't be heated or anything, but it will have the sides that can roll up, and it will have the end wall kit so I can have a door on it. And it's a 16 by 28 size, so I think it's gonna be just perfect for me. So basically, I have this staked out. What I'm waiting on now is the one call. So whenever you do any excavating or digging or anything like that, you need to do a one call here in Iowa. I'm sure it's like that in any other state. While we are not digging, we are putting stakes down in the ground a couple feet. So I need to make sure that there are no water lines or gas lines in that area. I know there's absolutely nothing, but you still need to have everything marked. And so I'm waiting for the city and those companies to come put out their flags, and then we know that that area is completely clear. I know there's nothing there because when I put the fence around my garden, I did one calls and nothing was ever in that area. This structure actually will be clear of my gas line by probably at least 10 feet. So we should be sitting perfect. So as soon as the one call is completed, we will be trying to put the rest of the stakes in and the hoops up, and I will document all of that for you guys. So there's a Hoophouse update. I hope in the next couple weeks that's up and I can get my ranunculus out and just really get things going. So anyway, that's going to do it for this video. The next video I will probably be filming tomorrow where I pot up the Honeywart and some other things. I will be showing you how I thin my plants and probably pinch some of my snapdragons. So that'll be a really good video, so make sure to watch for that. We'll see you soon.